going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, and it's not WWE, and it's not NXT. It is, in fact, AEW. You don't see the pretty sexy face, so you know I'm not alone. We found Guapo.
Hola, mis amigos, Senor de Guapos, back again for another Spaz Phoenix podcast.
So we haven't seen you in a while. 10 seconds or less. Tell everybody how you're doing.
You know, Guapo's been out doing lucha things, trying to make some bread for the Mrs. Guapo, and just living life.
There's a buns joke in there somewhere.
It was great.
And we haven't had AEW stuff to really talk about, seeing as their shows are way more spaced out. But
correct.
Not going to say what it is just yet. We do have another topical video coming up in the next couple of weeks that people can look forward to and speculate about. Double or Nothing coming up this weekend. It is on the Sunday. Absolutely. I had to double check that a couple of times.
Yes.
Full crowd in the crowd. That's how tired.
100% sold out in Daly's place.
Very, very tired when I say things like full crowd in the crowd.
Yes, full crowd in the crowd. Of the crowd doing the crowd things.
But speaking of being in the crowd, 10 seconds or less, brag about being at AEW a couple of weeks ago, seeing as I'm still in Canadian lockdown and can't do shit.
That is correct. On the April 21st show, I believe it was, me and Mrs. Guapo traveled from the great state of Louisiana down to Jacksonville, Florida, to visit Daly's place in the motherland of AEW. Had some great seats, got to hang out with a couple friends that also went to the show, and I hate to... Okay, so to be honest, it wasn't the best AEW show I've been to, only because it wasn't a packed house, and wearing a mask even outside sucks.
It does. But at least you got to do something.
But it was good. Yes, it was great.
Like, getting to do something must be like the equivalent of going to WrestleMania at this point. Like, something is not nothing.
This is correct. It was a great time. Even the wife had fun. It was good times by all. And when I say that crowd was ridiculously fun, it felt kind of like a Raw after Mania with the chants that were going from the crowd. Of course, during commercial break, because the good Tony Khan did come out, asked us not to swear on TV. So the crowd was very respectful for that. Just because, hey, let's not give AEW any unwanted fines from TNT.
It's almost like they're a PG show.
I mean, just they're not. I wouldn't necessarily say PG. Just if they can get away with out paying a couple hundred grand in fines every single week, I think they're gonna try it.
I mean, they're a PG show where they also try to explode people with pyro that doesn't, quite.
That last year. We're moving on.
Doesn't quite.
Just leave it.
Doesn't quite.
Okay.
And then they throw Chris Jericho down onto a box.
I mean, what else? Did you expect them to throw a almost 50-year-old man onto the hard concrete?
See, that's the response I get from everybody, and my response is no. Do the spot with somebody else.
I mean,
with Jericho being face now and like taking more care of his group because he's the face, like I think you would get more of an emotional response from Jericho as the leader if they had done that spot to Sammy Guevara.
Yes,
that's just my thing.
I don't know. You keep him face. Also, you allow them to give Jericho a out because he is about to start going on tour with Fozzy again.
Right, and also they gave him the weird funky metal arm thing. We can rebuild him. We have the technology.
Arm brace. Yes, this is true.
Anyway, no, but like
he's Canadian. I mean, he's half Canadian. He's gonna be rebuilt pretty soon anyway. It's fine. Y'all free healthcare and stuff.
Just patch him up with maple syrup. It's fine. No, but I will say, like, I'm taking the piss a little bit because I have to, but I can't shit on that match. Like, that match was great. The way it all came about.
As a pure fan of AEW, the match from start to finish was amazing. I did not like the finish of the match. I understand why it had to happen. I just didn't like how it finished. That was it.
Yeah, I think you get more of it out of, like, if that spot happened, if that's because you wanted to give the Pinnacle the win.
Correct.
But I think if you do that spot somewhere in the middle, like I say, take out somebody like a Sammy Guevara, and then you have, like, courageous leader Chris Jericho fighting the entire rest of the match at a 5-on-4 advantage, and then they take the loss. Jericho looks a little bit better in the loss. Nobody really ends up looking like a dweeb, because I'm sorry, at the end, again, everybody says, oh, well, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to kill Jericho? No, I don't need another Matt Hardy situation, but do it with somebody else, and don't have everybody else just standing around, like, chucking bodies as a spectator sport.
Correct.
But the match itself was great. There was a little bit of what I call the AEW sort of, we're bleeding, so it must be good. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but also there is, like you're doing it for doing its sake, and I think, yes, it added to the match. Nobody can deny that. I don't think they needed to do as much because the match itself was that good already.
Right.
I did like Jericho's team all coming out like they were going to war. That was a nice touch. It did remind me of them coming out with jerseys in the first Stadium Stampede, like with the Inner Circle heel jerseys. It was a very similar, like, United Front type thing. And obviously, like, we're burying the lead. MJF and his new group. Like, MJF's unstoppable at this point.
Yeah.
Like Discount Miz is almost leading up or living up to his predecessor's example. I'm gonna get shot. It's fine. So there was that. The only other thing that you and I really missed talking about was something Jake and I touched on a while ago, and you can find it back in the old episodes of the podcast. The Britt Baker Thunder Rosa Lights Out match.
Yes.
Was awesome.
Amazing.
Right down to the ending. Now, I've said, and I still stick to it to a certain degree, they need to do more with their women's division. That was a fantastic match. They've had one or two other ones, but I do have that conversation with people. You know, one or two really awesome matches does not a division make.
I agree. I will say I was able to witness a amazing women's match live at the show that I went to. I know I mentioned to you it was the match with Shida versus Tay Conti.
Yeah, I love Tay Conti. She's fucking great.
She's great. Absolutely amazing.
Like, I follow her on social a little bit, and I've seen a couple interviews she's been in or whatever, and it's sort of had like a Shotzi Blackheart effect. Like, every time I hear her in an interview, I'm behind her a little bit more, like, as a person, which makes me behind her as a wrestling character. But
well, then you will. Did you happen to listen to the podcast for Tay Conti for AEW Unrestricted?
I haven't started listening to the Unrestricted podcast yet. I should.
Yes, you should. It's good. It's good shit. Pop myself. Sorry. All right.
Popped yourself like a zit. Anyways, the reason I bring up the Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker match and how it's great and how, you know, there's a little bit of hope for their division. I know you're not watching a whole lot of WWE right now. I know you're not watching a whole lot of NXT right now.
I will be honest. I have not watched main card WWE in quite a while. The most I have watched was Mania, like one or two matches for Mania, and that was it.
Oh, you haven't even watched all of Mania?
No, I did not. I didn't switch over to Peacock.
Oh, okay, fair enough. No, what I was going to say is, have you watched any NXT since they moved to Tuesdays?
Yes, I watched a handful of matches. I'll be honest, I have not watched a lot of it, just a couple things here and there.
No, because what I wanted to mention is the thing that you and I have said for years, Jake and I have said it for years, I've said it on solo reviews as well, where every time I take a shot at AEW for the women's division, I back it up by saying, look, NXT's not great with their tag team division, you know. AEW has a great tag division. NXT's killing it with the women's division. But I think we're in a cool moment right now, and if you haven't seen as much of NXT, then maybe you won't have a take on it. I think both shows are putting a lot of focus on where they were falling down. Like AEW is coming around, they're bringing up the women's division. They're having things like the Baker and Rosa match. And Hikaru Shida is great, but they've just sort of set her with the belt and be like, okay, here's your next challenger. Here's your next challenger.
AEW is starting to develop more storylines within the women's division that are not revolving around a belt.
Yes.
So,
unfortunately, most of them are around Jade Cargill, who I can't be paid to give a shit about.
I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm right there with you. I honestly do not care about Jade Cargill.
Nobody's blind here. Like, obviously impressive as hell as an athlete, but
yes.
There needs to be more than that. But my point being, like, they're starting to bring up their women's division a bit, starting to give them some time and whatever. At the same time, NXT, which is part of WWE as a whole, which kind of fails on the tag team front, they're really starting to beef up their tag team division in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
And not all of it's great, and not all of them are main eventers. You've got the feel-good teams in there, like Breezango and Killian Dane and Drake Maverick, but you've got MSK, you've got Legado del Fantasma, you've got Lorcan and Birch when Birch gets back from his injury. You've got the Grizzled Young Veterans over from NXT UK. Like, there's a decent core developing, because they didn't have the team. Like, the differences between the two companies were AEW had women and just weren't featuring them enough. NXT literally didn't have teams.
Right.
But I think it's cool, like, especially now that the shows are separated, and I will say both shows are better. I mean, NXT won in the last hurdle, so, winner takes all. But
right.
But I do think it's great that both shows that have these respective things that we took shits on them for are elevating kind of at the same time. And I think that's a really cool. It's one of those hashtag you love to see it type of things. Right. Speaking of television, before we get into the card, the TV news. I said we were going to take a minute and talk about the TV news that NXT not NXT, AEW put out over the past week or so. Dynamite moving to TBS, and Rampage on Fridays after SmackDown.
Yes.
Initial thoughts on your end?
I'm excited for it.
I do think it's a lot of wrestling to watch on a Friday night. If people are watching SmackDown.
Okay, so I agree. At the moment, SmackDown is the best show for main card WWE, because Raw is taking
Raw's garbage.
Correct.
Except for Alexa Bliss and The Fiend.
100% right there with you.
Nice.
I can admit, the big dog, the head of the table, is gold right now.
Yeah. I said it to you before we came on air. I don't know how the company that is doing the Roman Reigns story is doing anything else that this company is doing right now.
Correct. It's pure gold right now.
Yes.
With that storyline. However, so instead of having that Monday Night War, because nobody wants to go up against Raw ever, because it's just going to be constantly compared to WCW with the Monday Night Wars.
Right.
So we're going to have the Friday Night Wars instead.
But we're not going to have the Friday Night Wars, because it's going to be it's going to be, I don't know, you weren't being serious, right?
Yeah.
But it was when before NXT moved to Tuesdays, right? I said, Don't move either show's nights. Just slide each show by an hour and have NXT from, well, I'm talking about my time zones,
yes.
NXT from 7 to 9, and then AEW from 9 to 11, which is basically what I was doing on a Wednesday night anyway.
Right. I
said, leave them on the same night. Let Wednesday be the night where wrestling is, and just have 4 straight hours of great wrestling. Like, for me, I've got my biases. I like NXT a little bit more, so hence me putting them on first. But as I've said to you, there's a lot of stuff on AEW that I like. That's pretty cool. So 4 straight hours of wrestling on a Wednesday when it's good is more tolerable than 3 hours of bad wrestling on a Monday.
Right. So
now they've basically done that on Friday. They're not competing with SmackDown, which is gonna avoid a lot of whatever you want to call it, the Twitter toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's just people talking about what show they like better. It's not toxic. It's fine. John Cena's pretty toxic to talk about right now, but we're not going to go into that tonight.
Ooh, please! I don't want to touch that right now.
Yeah, I'm not. I have to inform myself on a couple of worldwide things a bit more before I decide an opinion on that one, to be perfectly honest with you.
Hello, China.
Hey. Why do you call it the China virus? Because it came from China. I mean, we got the UK variant, we've got the South African variant, we've got the Indian variant, but China virus is bad, remember. Anyways, my point being is they're kind of doing on Friday what I had suggested that they do on Wednesday.
Correct.
They're giving you, instead of having shows going against each other, they're giving you a 1-2 punch of wrestling. Now, I do question the timing of it, in the sense that we are all, like, some of us are out of the ongoing global bastard. Up in Canada, where we're still locked down, we are not out of the ongoing global bastard. In 6 months, I can get a haircut, maybe. My haircut has its own zip code. It's fine. But I sort of question the logic of introducing a Friday night show when the world is just opening up and people are able to get out and socialize and have their weekends again. And I hope that doesn't bite them in the ass.
I don't think it will, only because I think part of it is also with after this whole first full year of having Dynamite on TNT, AEW is also realizing the limitations that they have on TNT simply because of all the other paid programming from major sports here in the United States.
Right.
So with giving that extra day, that now they can program and say, hey, this week on Dynamite might not be the best because of MLB or NBA or whatever is going on TNT this Wednesday, so we're going to have to push something. Friday, we're going to have a jam-packed show. Make sure you're tuning in on Friday.
Oh, yeah, no, for the extra content. I'm not one of these people that are like, oh my god, you can't make another show, there's too much wrestling. I'm not doing that. I literally only mean...
I just feel, honestly, so because we only cover so many shows, just you, me, Jake, I know Kristen doesn't even watch wrestling anymore. But
we developed an entire other part of this channel for Kristen.
Yes.
If she was listening to us right now, she would hate me.
Right. Just the fact that we're such a niche market for the wrestling community.
Yeah.
I honestly feel so bad for those Wall Culture boys.
Holy shit.
They're going to have to digest so much shit.
Well, here's the thing. I feel bad for everybody but Michael Sidgwick.
Yes.
Because, let me say, without hesitation, because none of them are listening to this, Michael Sidgwick can fuck off and all.
Didn't he block you on Twitter for nothing?
He blocked me on Twitter and told... And since he had a little fit about it, nobody else in that entire company calls me by my proper friggin' screen name. Like, nobody. Like, if I do a super chat on
their regular daily news thing with a Twitter question.
Yes, that was before. No, like if I join them for a live chat now, they're like, Mr. Phoenix. I'm like, seriously?
Because it can't say Spaz?
Yeah. Apparently it has negative connotations if you want to,
It's your fucking screen name.
It is. Absolutely. 100%. I agree. I'm aware of the other connotations of it, but that's not what it is. It would be like if I had a kid and named my kid Fuck, like, I would hope you call my kid by his name. That's a really shitty example.
Look at him and say, hey, look here, you little fuck.
Exactly.
How do you spell your name? F-U-K. Okay, cool.
F-U-X.
F-U-X.
But it is one of those things where, and typically I make this joke about feminists, but I guess...
So F-U-X, so he's a faux fuck?
Oh, dear. I can't tell dad jokes because I don't have any kids, so that would be a real faux pas.
Oh, fuck.
There we go. No, but it's one of those, if there's a way that something can be taken that's fine and a way that something that can be taken that is not fine, there are people out there that will choose the not fine because being offended makes you a victim and victim gets you everything in this world. Enter Michael Sidgwick. Moving on. Let's not, we just got onto a what culture rant. That's fantastic. But yeah, no, happy for them. Interesting to see what differences come along moving to TBS. I think it's a wider spread network in the States. Is that the deal? They can get a larger audience?
Yeah, much larger audience.
Now, does it become the TBS championship?
No. If anything, I honestly think they bring another mid-card title in. Now, look, we're both in agreement that you shouldn't be diluting everything with so many titles.
Oh, but we need to have a trios title.
Trios title I see happening. That's going to be a regardless thing. So I only see two more titles happening: trios and a actual TV title.
See, here's the thing. Here's where I'm going to give AEW the benefit of the doubt, right?
Mm-hmm.
TNT championship, right?
Yes.
Is obviously they're kissing butt to the TV company a little bit,
yeah.
And let's not pretend otherwise, right?
It's kissing butt, but it's also a play on words with the actual show being Dynamite.
Well, this is my entire point. Like, you can always play it off like TNT is Dynamite.
Correct.
Like, my example kind of falls flat, because when they introduced the TNT championship, I would be like, yo, if WWE on SmackDown introduced the Fox Championship, you guys would eat their souls.
100%. But because they couldn't get away with that.
No. And the funny thing is, though, if they did it on Raw, it would be like the USA Championship, and it's already the US title.
Correct. But the thing is, though, so I look at it like this. The AEW's TNT Championship, I look at the TNT Championship on the same level as like the IC title for WWE.
Of course, yeah.
Whereas this next title is going to be the equivalent of the US Championship, which is why I think it's going to be either a TV or some sort of title of that nature.
And see, I don't even think you need to do that, because in all seriousness, again, giving AEW the benefit of the doubt, I think you feature the TNT champion more on Rampage, because Rampage is going to be on TNT anyway, and right. You just let it be the title of that show. Jake and I did a video a while ago, like how I would save NXT by cutting it in half. I basically sort of separated it out into two shows, and I let one be focused on the NXT Championship and one be focused on the North American Championship, just to give it that prestige. Like, when you forget, or some people forget, when WWE created the Intercontinental Championship, the reason behind it, or so the story goes anyway, was so that they could do two house shows a night, and each show would have a champion on it. So let's go back to that logic. Let the TNT Championship be the... I mean, please don't call it the Rampage Championship, because...
I don't see that happening.
Like, I just bring in The Rock and the Big Monkey from the movie, and it's fine. Bring in zombies for a lumberjack match. Anyways. But no, I think it's going to be cool. Like I say, the only real thing that came out of that for me is, like, you guys are going to introduce a Friday show when people are, like, just starting to get out there and have lives again. It's way easier to convince wrestling fans to stay in any other night of the week than Friday. That was literally my only, not even negative reaction, just sort of hesitant reaction. But other than that, if they're going to move from TNT to TBS, it's not going to affect me here, because it's going to be on TSN up here in Canada.
Right, you get it on the same network anyway.
Yeah, it's like all of our WWE stuff is on Sportsnet 360. They even fixed NXT eventually, except for 1 week, Sportsnet didn't have it because they were playing some other kind of like a hockey game or something like that. So It actually came on Fox up here in Canada, and it was weird because we saw all the built-in ads that you guys get that we don't usually see, and it was very strange. And also, you got to imagine, like, for me too up here, right? We've always seen wrestling on a sports channel. So the commercials you get are like sports channels. The commercials you get are, oh, this game is coming up, and like tomorrow tune in for so and so because he's gonna golf like 20 times, and we're gonna see if he's still alive at the end or whatever. It's very weird to see a transition from like other TV to wrestling, and I know that's like regular for you guys, because down in the States it was like, I think Law and Order was on before NXT when I was watching it on the stream, and I'm like, that would be so jarring for us because we've always received it through a sports network.
Right.
So you guys watching it on USA or TBS or Fox or whatever it's such an alien watching experience. I was like, these guys watch wrestling totally differently. They're not so much the same, you and I. I've rambled for a long time. We've been rambling a long time. We should talk about the card.
That sounds like a great
We should
plan
talk
there,
about the
Spaz.
card. Well, it's going to be quick because the first two one match I don't care about, one match I don't care about, but I have something to say about, and then we're going to get into the rest of the card. Please tell me that you have something to say about Hangman Page versus Brian Cage. Because I like Hangman Page, but I can't find something to grab in this match.
Well, it's going to be a real page turner, and
Oh my god.
you know, it's going to make you grab the cage.
There's going to be some rage.
It's the built-in storyline that's been feuding with Page and Team Taz. So, I don't know. I'm happy we're going to pay off, but I also think I don't even know, honestly, where to call this match. Because part of me wants to say Cage is going to win it because...
Page is... Like, to me, it's open and shut. Page is winning. Like, he's going to go in there. He's going to be the triumphant hero over the Giant. And Brian Cage has had some issues with Team Taz anyway. And I think that discrepancy is going to be between him and Taz on the outside. But, like, if Hangman Page is warring with Team Taz and he's facing the guy that is on his own, on his outs with his own group... Like
that, and it also depends on if Dark Order is going to be backing up Page as well with them.
See, I don't think they need that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if one or two of them came out, or if like -1 comes out and is like cheering them on in the front row or whatever. That'd be all cool. I'm down for that. I think I've referred to the Dark Order as like acceptedly goofy at this point.
Right.
I have no problem with any of that. Right. But I don't think he needs any backup facing the guy from another faction who's not getting along with his own faction. And I mean,
Right.
Brian Cage is a beast. I should be going into this saying like Hangman Page taking down this Goliath is going to do huge things for him, but I don't feel like it is because I think the story is going to be the disintegration of the relationship between Brian Cage and Taz, and Hangman's just going to be like the other guy in the ring, and I don't think that helps anybody.
It doesn't, but
I'm sure the match will be great. Like I sound like I'm shitting on it.
As a whole, the match is going to be amazing to watch because both of those men can tear a fucking house down.
Yeah, of course they can. And like I say, I want to be clear. Like I am positive about this whole show. Like when I nitpick, I want to say twice as much as I usually do. I am looking forward to this show. The match will be great. I'm really I'm pulling for a reason to care.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think it's a ringer that Hangman's winning this. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I think Hangman's going to pick up the win for it.
Because Brian loses, and then he looks at, like, oh, well, what good is it doing me being on Team Taz? And then Taz... Like, Taz is the most entertaining thing in Team Taz, and Taz can't wrestle anymore. Like, that's...
Or if anything, what I think would be good is if Taz's son or Hobbs causes Cage to lose.
Okay, Hook looks like a 5-year-old, first of all.
Well, compared to everybody else, yeah, he looks like a child.
Hook looks like he could get his ass kicked by Marco Stunt.
Oof. Probably. I would pay to watch that match.
But, like, here's the thing, like, I don't think that this is going to be the night that Brian Cage leaves Team Taz either.
No.
Like, that's a long developing story.
I feel like there's going to be another implosion between them.
Because I do feel like eventually there is going to be something where, like, Cage does leave the group and talk some shit to Taz, and then, like, Hook tries to get in there and stick up for his dad, and, like, dies.
Gets bitch slapped.
No, like, gets thrown into the 5th row. But, yeah, Hangman Page in a match that I really hope makes me care on the night.
Yes.
Next one. Cody Rhodes versus Anthony Ogogo.
I think Anthony Ogogo wins it.
Here's the thing.
It don't hurt Cody.
What?
It doesn't hurt Cody to lose.
No. Here's the thing where I'm going to surprise a bunch of people. I think it's hysterical the promo that Cody Rhodes cut a couple weeks ago, because I think he managed to, like, as I say, I don't want to get super political here, and I'm really trying to avoid it, but just sort of go with me for a second. I think it's hysterical that he managed to go out there and cut a promo that pissed off the left and the right in equal measure. Like, that's bizarre, right? And the other thing that I love is just today it was released. Cody Rhodes said in an interview that before he cut that promo, he had it think tanked and focus grouped for content. But AEW doesn't script their promos.
I mean, they don't. It's just...
I thought it was great. My problem, and here's where you're going to have a heart attack.
Okay.
My problem with this match isn't Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
My problem with this match isn't even Anthony Ogogo. Anthony Ogogo is there on behalf of who?
QT.
I could not be paid to give a rat lizard fuck about QT Marshall. Like, if Anthony Ogogo just made his debut, and here's this guy, he's British, he used to be a boxer, apparently he went through, like, wicked health issues when he was a boxer, so he can't box anymore, he came into wrestling, and they just want, and yes, it is cliche, the whole, like, I'm gonna lay my flag on you, we're gonna do the national pride thing, whatever, it's played to death, but it's played to death because it fucking works. If that was it, that was fine, but he's here as a student of QT Marshall, and who the fuck is QT Marshall?
Right.
Like, as a character, like, you are my AEW guy, Guapo.
Yes.
I put a lot of credit into you for the passion that you have for this brand. And I hope you take that as the compliment that I mean it as.
I appreciate it, yes. Thank you.
If I come to you and I say, what is QT Marshall's character, other than he's a dweeb that's jealous of his friend?
Yeah, you pretty nailed it on the head.
Like, I don't care. If I don't care about the guy that Anthony Ogogo is fighting on behalf of, how can I care about him?
Correct. I can agree with you there.
So, like, Cody Rhodes is the part of this match that's going to make me laugh. Anthony Ogogo, yes, he used to be a boxer, so yes, his move is going to be a punch. Yay! I do think, like you say, Cody's going to put him over.
I think Cody will put him over, but part of me is also like, Cody might take the win, only because this match he is going to be billed as the American Dream Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Only for the fact that he needs to be billed as it on TV at least once, so he can then file for a trademark.
Mm-hmm. I do also think it fits, like, eventually it's going to fit into the Cody Rhodes 3-part plan. Part 1, cry. Part 2, remind people who your dad is. Part 3, bleed.
There will be blood.
It's fine. But the most important thing, and I really appreciate Cody Rhodes, because he's so subtle about it. He hardly mentions it, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that he's having a baby, and did you know that his wife is black?
No idea.
Like, goddamn. Not that either of those are bad things, but goddamn.
Brandy's black?
Well, she's mocha, I guess. Anyways, moving swiftly on. I think when they said that he focused group...
She is a very pretty woman, so...
It's still fake Shotzi. Anyways, I think him saying that promo was think tanked was really just him going to his wife and being like, honey, is this okay? Will this upset anybody? Anyway. So we're gonna flip the script. I can speak, I swear. And I'm gonna tell you a match that I'm really, really looking forward to.
Yes.
But I still kind of don't get it. It's 4 awesome people in a combination that I would not have put on the show. But it's the new team of Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, which is awesome, versus Sting and Darby Allin. Let me ask you something. In the kayfabe of AEW, is Sting Darby Allin's dad? Because this is the only way this makes sense.
It's what you call it. It's
Brothers in Paint?
No, it's deathcore new metal meeting together.
Oh my god. See, the thing is, like, I get what they're doing, and I get that there's this whole, like, they're doing this cool passing of the torch thing, and they're...
Also, I'm pretty sure Sting's old enough to be Darby's grandpa.
There we go. Papa Sting.
Papa Sting!
Papa Stinger sounds really bad. But like, here's the thing though, right? And this is such a backwards compliment for me to give somebody. Everybody knows what I think about Darby Allin. Everybody knows what I think about Darby Allin at this point, right? Like, the whole passing of the torch thing from somebody like Sting for, like, a passing from a character that makes sense to a character that makes sense to get that torch, I get it, and it's all great. And the way that they've used Sting in limited ways, and they put him in that cinematic match that was really cool. I like the way they all brought it together. It's all good. I come away from it every week being like, Darby doesn't need this.
Yes.
And I really... To see Sting in almost like this mentor-manager role was fine. I don't need to see Darby Allin in a tag team scenario. Like, even if it was somebody with like that was current. Like,
right.
even if like, I don't know that there's not another like super goth character on the roster, but like, I don't need to see Darby Allin in a tag team is my other problem. Like, he doesn't need the push that they're giving him because the crowd already loves him.
Right.
Jake and I did a video a couple weeks ago, and it was just people we want to see Daniel Bryan face, and obviously one of the people that I brought up was Darby Allin, and I compare him to Hardy Boys, but not in the way that people compare him to Jeff Hardy, just in the sense of he didn't so much get pushed as the crowd took one look at him and adopted him, and you can't make that happen.
Right.
That just happens. Like, he doesn't need to be pushed because the crowd has already decided that they're going to push him themselves. And I don't need to see him in a tag team scenario because Sting is not going to do what Darby Allin does, and all that does is underline what a weird, like, mixed up tag team they are. So I'm complimenting these guys, and I'm just saying you're not quite in the right spot. But also, they're going up against this new team of Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page that I really like.
Right.
I didn't see a whole lot of Ethan Page in Impact, but I did see Ethan Page when he and Josh Alexander were at Destiny. Check it off your Spaz Phoenix bucket list. It's fine. So the teaming of these two...
Might just start making bingo cards.
Yep. I'm going to get a t-shirt eventually that's just going to have like the Spaz Phoenix bingo card on it. It's going to be like, mention how awesome The Fiend is, mention how awesome NXT is, mention how hot as fuck Alexa Bliss and Shotzi Blackheart are, mention Destiny Wrestling, bingo! But, no, it's a great team, and they're making their pay-per-view debut against a team that's not a team. Like, if you have a brand new team that's just been put together, they need to be proving themselves against an established team. Like, if they weren't involved in other things later on in the night, I would love to see these two guys maybe testing themselves up against somebody like the Revival, FTR.
Right.
Like, one of those teams has to be established, and I don't think... There's a bunch of really awesome different types of talent in this match, and every person in this match, I just wish they were doing something a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And Darby's going to win. Darby and Sting are going to win
yes.
as well, is my other problem.
Absolutely.
Which doesn't work because Sky and Paige are the new team that you're trying to push.
Yeah, but Ethan Page has a better tag team partner that hopefully will one day come to AEW.
Oh, you're talking about Josh Alexander?
Yes, I am.
Josh Alexander was another one that I put on the Daniel Bryan list. Just make an entire story out of Daniel Bryan has neck issues, and one of Josh Alexander's finishers is a twisting pile driver.
Solid.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good story. I like it. But like,
it
like, am I shitting on this? Because I don't think I am.
No.
But at the same time, like, here's a bunch of awesome people that I just wish were like one step over this way or one step over this way.
Let's be completely honest. Darby, Scorpio, and Paige are going to be carrying this match by themselves.
Yes. See, here's the thing. Like, if Scott, like, in a different world where Scorpio Sky hadn't turned heel, take Sting out of the equation, give me this triple threat match, and I would say make it. And I would say make it the sub main event. And now it seems like I'm shitting on Sting, but I'm not. Put Sting in a match with Jericho. It'll be fine.
I hate to say it, but Sting is slowly turning into Stang.
Oh, no. But winter is coming.
It came and gone. The dragons are dead.
And now my watch begins.
God.
Fuck, I just started watching that again, because, like, current TV is...
I mean, it's good shit.
Yeah, it is, and it's better than every current show that I'm watching that's just inserting SJW crap into it. Anyways,
honest, I'm trying to force myself to finish watching the last season of Supernatural right now.
Ooh.
I don't want it to end.
I never started, so.
Oh.
Supernatural, what's
15
that?
seasons to catch up on there, man.
I dragged myself through 15 seasons of Grey's, and then this year they turned it into a literal SJW vomit pile, and I finally tapped out.
Never started it, never will. All right, up next we have...
I got the Casino Battle Royal.
All right, Casino Battle Royal. Who are you thinking?
I love the concept. First of all, I want to say I love the concept. I do acknowledge something that this goes against something that I usually say. Like, why are there so many battle royals and so many tournaments for number one contenders when there is a ranking system? Like those two ideas go back and forth against each other. I do like the layout of the Casino Battle Royal.
Yes.
The
5,
5, 5, and 1.
Yes.
Or sorry, 5, 5, 5, 5, 1. I like this better than when they tried to put together the casino ladder match.
Yes, I agree.
I think, what was it? It was either Andy Murray or Adam Nicholas from What Culture that said when you try to put 2 or 3 stipulations together, it's like putting a hat on a hat.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I'm the one that still wants to see a ladder match inside the Elimination Chamber. So
the point of a future, making it to where the winner gets a future championship, yes, they got the ranking system. However, I feel like it's just an opportunity to get a one-off match for somebody.
It's a way to hop the ranking system. I get that. And
without breaking the ranking system. It's a way to hop it without breaking it.
No, I get it, and you need to have variety, because you don't just want to be looking at the rankings every week and be like, all right, well, I guess that guy's next. I guess that guy's next. I wouldn't, and I've said this before, and I think you've been with me before, I wouldn't harp on this so much if they didn't drive it home so hard, like, we are awesome because we do this.
Right.
Like, it was like, oh, we're going to be the company that takes wrestling seriously, and they drive that home, and then you have the orange juice match, and it's fine.
Correct.
But let's look at some of the people in this match.
So, I mean, we have everybody announced except for the mystery, the ace.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Joker in a second. But what I've got, I don't have all of them because this is.
I do. If you want me to read them off.
Well, tell me who I missed: Christian, Seidel, Hobbs, Penta, Jungle Boy, Hardy, Private Party, Blade, but not the Butcher. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Evil Uno.
Butcher's hurt.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Evil Uno, Cabana, the Hollywood, or not the Hollywood Blondes, the Varsity Blondes, the Acclaimed. Okay, let's take a total side note for a second. I love the Acclaimed.
Yes.
The Acclaimed are fucking awesome.
They are slowly growing on me. Their random raps coming into the ring have been great lately.
Trust me, I was the first one to get in line to like rip them for being like wannabe Cenas, but I can't even do it. I can't even do it.
They've grown on you.
No, but like I saw them do it like one time, and I'm like, okay, I can't. I would love to be the asshole that just, oh look, it's 2 chocolate Cenas. But first of all, that would be really problematic, and I would never say something like that out loud. Second of all, they're just really good. It's the promo that they cut on Mox about Renee Young and about the Oral Sessions podcast. Yeah. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, A, that was awesome. B, you're about to die.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
And anyways, rounding it out, we got Dustin and the guy that we talked about before that I don't care about, QT Marshall. So Dustin and QT are going to take each other out. There's that story. And then we're going to have the rest of the match.
You're missing Nick Camarado, who's also part of QT's stable. Lee Johnson, who's a part of Dustin's stable, technically.
Oh, the Nightmare Factory.
Yeah, Nightmare Factory.
We've got the Factory and the Nightmare Factory now. Is that?
Yeah.
That's the thing. All right.
Yeah, we have the Factory and the Nightmare, or the Nightmare Family.
Okay. Because it was the Nightmare Factory at one point. Because Nightmare Factory is literally the name of their gym, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where I got that messed up.
Yes.
So, as much as I'm looking at this, like, unless they want to do the Christian Omega thing, I don't see anybody. It's going to be whoever the Joker is, and I'm going to be the one. I'm sure you've got some predictions. I'm going to be the guy that puts the 3 most obvious names that everybody's talking about right now. Obviously, you got to say Punk, or the wrestling world will implode. And the other two more interesting, in my opinion, at this point, options are Daniel Bryan or Andrade.
Bryan Danielson.
Whatever.
The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, is my pick for it.
I will say,
I would like Andrade, however, you don't need Andrade.
Andrade would be really. I will say though, since leaving WWE, Andrade has two matches lined up that I'm really interested in. Because apparently, before he faces Omega, he's also having a match against Alberto Del Rio.
Ooh.
And Alberto Del Rio is a piece of shit.
Yeah, he is.
But that's still a good match.
Yeah. Good match. I just don't like the dude.
Like, if they were both still in WWE, I would have them as a tag team or as a feud.
Feud, more likely.
Yeah. I'm talking about specifically kayfabe on screen, Roddy Raw.
Yeah.
Oh, P.S. The Texatine Dream is gone from WWE. Isn't that wonderful?
Thank the Lord.
Yeah. Careful, somebody's going to call you racist.
Well, not why. That's why. Not because of his skin color. It's not why I'm happy he got fired. I'm happy he got fired because he's a living piece of shit.
Maybe don't be an asshole and try to diddle kids.
Correct.
Just saying.
Anyway,
so, I do think I like see. As much as this is going to sound really obnoxious, the Bryan one is the more obvious one, and it's the bigger, more blockbustery type thing. I think
yes, I know.
But the one that's a lot more interesting is the Andrade one, especially because he's already got something going on with Omega somewhere else that they could definitely play off of.
You're forgetting about somebody who has been sidelined for a while, but I'm pretty sure can be cleared.
Okay.
Joe.
Oh, why are you making me think thoughts? Why are you making me...
Yeah. Joe would be amazing.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Joe. The only other person besides whoever is going to be the wild card in this match, but the wild card and Cage are my two, 1 and 2 who I think could win. The last person who I think possibly could do it, Preston Vance, 10.
Oh, that's right, 10 is in it too.
Yes.
It depends what they're doing with the title shot. Like, if it's a title shot that's going to be played out the next couple of weeks on Dynamite, it opens it up a lot more. But to go to a pay-per-view, you're looking at Christian, or you're looking at...
I don't think whoever wins this is going to be holding it till a title shot. Also, it's I hate to say it, it's going to be a rip-off of Money in the Bank. They can cash it in at any time.
Yeah, I mean, we said that before, though, especially when they did it with a ladder match. But
yeah.
If I put my bullshit aside for a second, that's not a terrible thing. Like, if you're going to rip something from WWE, rip one of the things that still manages to be popular even while WWE itself is not popular.
As well as, since, Chris Jericho is kind of the person who invented it.
That's fine.
Yes.
It's cash in the financial institution.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm going to go the really, really lame, easy route. Whoever the Joker is winning.
Joker. Okay.
Christian, here's the thing, right? I don't want Christian to have a one-off match where he gets squashed by Omega and goes away. If they are going to...
I just don't see him. I don't see him as a longevity right now.
No. But, here's the thing. I don't want him to be, thrown flash into one match with Omega, and that's it. I don't expect him to win the title. Please let me be clear about that.
Also, just throwing this out there, Christian versus Will Hobbs I saw live was really freaking good, actually.
Yeah. But no, I know he'll probably lose, but I do want there to be a story when Christian stands across the ring from Omega.
Yeah.
And this sort of hopscotching into the championship would be... I mean, I'll take it, right? I'm not saying I wouldn't take it, but it's one of those...
You're not also not saying you're going to love it.
The Joker thing, and it's hard to not make the WWE comparison, right? The Joker in the Casino Battle Royal is number 30 in the Royal Rumble. You think that number 30 in the Royal Rumble is going to be some big awesome surprise, but then if the person that came in as a big awesome surprise doesn't then win, then it's sort of disappointing. But then if you know for a fact that the guy that came in at number 30 is going to win, then 29 other people just wasted their time.
Right.
Like it's a weird circular logic type thing. So I don't want people to get so high up on the Joker thing, like, because they push it even more with the Casino Battle Royal, with the, oh my God, it's the unknown person, it's the only person that comes out as an entrance on their own, and it's like Ortiz.
Right.
I mean, it wouldn't be Ortiz. Ortiz is in the other match, but you get my point, right?
Yeah.
And then like Ortiz gets like squashed by Omega, and then the whole Casino Battle Royal this year was pointless. Okay, let's go back to the last time. We just figured this out before we came on the air. Let's go back to the last time that you and I did a video, just the two of us, because we did one with. Two of us. We can make it if we. Never mind. Let's not do that.
No.
Because you and me and Jake did the Royal Rumble preview. But the last time it was just you and me, it was when you and I were doing our rundown of the AEW Tag Team Division. And I ended that video, or that podcast, or that episode, depending on how people are listening, watching, whatever, saying, okay, here's all the tag teams they've got. And here's Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston, who are kicking the shit out of each other. Wouldn't it be awesome if those two formed a tag team and just, like, prison fucked the Bucks?
Yeah.
And here's a little bit of a spoiler. I really hope that that's what happens this weekend.
I think we get a. I think this match, they're just gonna murder each other.
I love this tag team.
I honestly don't care who wins this match.
I do.
I mean, somewhat, yes, but
I do.
Who's coming out with the W?
It's probably going to be the Bucks, but
Yeah,
I wish
I'm
it was
saying
Moxley
Bucks.
and Kingston.
I'm saying Bucks only because of interference from Good Brothers.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing, though. Like, because what are they calling themselves? The Super Elite?
Something like that.
Is that the thing? Because they can't use Bullet Club, except they do.
They do and don't. Yeah.
But like they're collecting.
The forbidden door is like cracked open.
Yeah, they're like collecting enemies at this point, right? Like that's fair to say. So if there was a double team or a triple team or whatever, like Fear from the Outside or the Good Brothers, like there's a whole laundry list of people that could come out to even the odds because they've done it on Dynamite. Like we've seen the brawls that have broken out, and enough people always come out to fill out the other side. Here's the controversial thing, right? And here I said this on Twitter, and I got slaughtered a couple weeks ago. I like the team of Moxley and Kingston better than Mox as world champion. I like their pairing.
Yeah.
So like, not gonna lie, Mox as champion was kick ass, and we know he did some awesome shit. Like,
yeah,
he dropped it in a match where the pyro didn't work. 69 me down. Oh man. But like, honestly, this team is really fucking good, and they haven't even they've had 2 matches I think as a tag team. I want them to kill everybody. Like,
look, I will pop if they come out in matching Newport tracksuits. Because with the comment of Eddie Kingston looks like a walking pack of Newports.
Ah, gotcha.
I just want them in Newport tracksuits.
I want them to kill the Bucks. Because I don't know what other than like there being like male divas or whatever the fuck they're trying to pull off. I don't know what the fuck the Bucks are doing right now. And this is not my.
They need to be wearing the Bucks' shoes.
Oh my god, the Dwar Nikes or whatever.
Nike Dior's, yeah. The $10,000 Nikes.
Like, this isn't even my typical, like, the Bucks are almost as obnoxious as Sasha Banks shtick. This is just, like, I literally don't know what the fuck they're doing.
New bio.
Oh my god. And it's not that they're not good. Like, we know they're great in the ring. Even when I hated them, I admitted that they were great in the ring. But Jesus Christ, it is a little obnoxious. I gotta go with Mox and Kingston on this. I'm probably wrong. I'm probably really, really wrong. But I don't know. There's not much to say about the match either. Like, either there's going to be interference or Moxley and Kingston are going to kill them. Like, there's not very much to dig into there.
Right.
And speaking of not really much to dig into there, TNT Championship, Miro versus Lance Archer. Is Lance Archer a babyface or a heel this week?
I don't know. Wait, what's... So I'm looking at this, whatever the fuck this is right here, Wikipedia.
Yes.
And they have Miro or Dante Martin versus Lance Archer?
Because Miro's got a squash match on the Friday episode of Dynamite that they're doing.
Oh, okay. Well,
and it's quote unquote for the title, and we all know how that's gonna go. So technically, they have to put that for now.
Right, exactly.
I forgot that was a thing until. Hey, wait, hold on. We just finished talking about Rampage. For one night only, we are gonna get the Friday Night War.
Yeah.
And if SmackDown beats them in the ratings, I promise I'll be mature about it.
I mean,
I won't
be
mature
show
about it at
that's
all.
Established on a Friday night versus one that's just moved there because of this shitty NBA playoffs.
I don't care. I promise I will not be mature about it at all. In any way, shape, or form. Miro versus Lance Archer. Big dudes running into each other. I'm down for that. Lance Archer's alright. Miro, Rusev, whatever, is one of those guys that I've always wanted. Good, like, even back to WWE. Like, I'm not one of those people that say, oh, WWE never gave him a chance. They bought him a fucking tank for WrestleMania and put him up against John Cena. Fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
But he could always do more. And then the people that said AEW was saving him while he was, like, sitting in the back with Kip Sabian playing video games and bragging about Twitch, was like, no, this is worse. He's doing more wedding stuff, and you think it's hilarious because you think it's a dig at WWE. It's just them doing the same stuff. So as much as I want more for him, and I'm happy for him to a certain degree that he's got the championship, like, it doesn't feel earned.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm hoping in 2 or 3 months when we've got the next pay-per-view and he's still got the belt, because, spoiler, I think he's winning. Like, I'm hoping by then that he will have, like... This is going to sound super condescending. I'm hoping he will have grown into his title reign a little bit.
Yeah.
To get over to get over the goofiness of WWE stuff, but also to get over the goofiness of coming into AEW with his Eminem bleach blonde haircut and his really, really expensive pajamas in his video games. Like,
right.
Because we know he's talented. We know he can kill people in the ring. And we know he's, like, got that ability to be, like, terrifying and still funny. But let him grow into this title reign a little bit. Partially, I'm not invested. Again, it's one of those, it's going to be a great match, but the fact that I know who's going to win, it makes it hard to get, like, on the edge of your seat.
Right. Now,
I do have to reiterate, I think the match is going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be a good match, but I also do think it's going to be Miro winning. It ain't going to be clean now.
No. He might just, like, they might do one of those things that they try to do with monster characters where he's, like, beaten down in the corner and just doesn't stop and the referee has to do, like, a stoppage.
Right.
I wouldn't hate that either, because that's a way to put over, like, okay, he's like I say, he shed the expensive PJs in the video games and he's taking shit seriously now and he's somebody to be reckoned with. That's a rare situation where, like, a sort of BS ending works.
Right, exactly.
But, yeah, again, it's a bunch of really good shit that it's just, I wish I cared a little bit more. Match I'm really looking forward to, and I didn't know that it was even happening until I looked at the wiki, making notes before we got on tonight. I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna let you react first, and then
okay.
I'm gonna go ahead. It's on the kickoff,
yes.
which is a little bit of a bummer. NWA Women's Championship match: Serena Deeb versus Riho.
I hate to say that. I mean, Serena Deeb is gonna retain. Rio, since coming back from Japan from the Global Bastard, has been kind of disappointing, but also, I don't know. I've never been I've always liked Rio, but I'm not a massive Rio fan. I love Serena Deeb. Like, I will watch all of her matches. Honestly, what I really think was going to happen with this match is Deeb's going to win. However, some woman from NWA is going to come out and challenge her for something. Oh, for a match at some point.
Oh, so like the old NXT thing, like the champion retains, and then the next challenger just sort of has like a stare down type thing.
Yes. To lead into, because, and I want to say NWA Power is coming back soon.
So you think we get crossover the other way?
Yes, I think we could cross over the other way.
So a couple of AEW people go over to Power?
Yep.
Because Power is on YouTube, right? Or is it on TV now?
YouTube.
Okay.
Still YouTube.
Who just got a TV deal recently? It's one that I don't watch, but...
I don't know off the top of my head.
MLW, I think?
Yes, MLW.
Okay. See, the only thing I know about MLW is that's where Alicia Atu is, who is like who I know as the ring announcer from Destiny. So I know MLW, not even for any of the wrestlers there. I know one of your interview people. Here's my thing, right? We haven't seen a whole lot of Riho, like you say, since she came back, and it almost fair to say like she feels like she's finding her feet again.
Yeah.
Which is completely understandable. Yeah, I think she gets more in a loss here than she does with a win over some rando. Because Serena Deeb's going to win, and she's like this is the babyface.
It's going to be a good match, no matter what.
It's going to be a great match, but I think Serena Deeb, like the way she kind of, I've heard her in interviews too, and she kind of sounds like Natty a little bit, where she's out there, she's not out there to make her look good, she's out there to make everybody look good. So I think as much as Serena Deeb's going to keep her championship, like you say, I didn't know NWA Power was coming back, so thanks for that.
Yeah.
But as much as you say, like, she's going to have, like, a particular direction, and Riho's not going to really stand in the way of that, Riho needs the kind of match that Serena Deeb is going to bring her to sort of reestablish herself and maybe get back on the course towards the AEW championship like that. So this match is going to do her a lot of good, like you say, even in a loss.
Let's see. March 2nd, 2021, NWA announced a return promoting events. NWA back for the Attack pay-per-view in new NWA Power episodes as part of distribution agreement with Fight TV. So it's going to be on Fight.
Okay. Fair enough. And like you say, like I find her entertaining. I've never been the hugest Riho fan either. But again, you get a mechanic like Serena Deeb in there that'll help her like do the Heyman thing, like accentuate the positives and all that kind of thing. It's gonna be solid. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be one of those matches that you come out of on the pre-show that's like, that could have been on the main card. That's kind of unfortunate. But like we're saying it now, so now flip the script on that. We got the most predictable in a positive way match on this card. If I say every other match on this card is a flip of the coin, I'm betting the house on Britt Baker becoming the new AEW Women's Champion. Like, it has to happen, right?
100% Britt's winning.
Yeah. Like, she is the best thing in their division, and she was the best thing in their division when she wasn't even wrestling. Like, what more do you need to say other than that? And she's, like, 100% better in the ring as well. Like, we saw her debut. We saw her really, really awkward promo on Jericho's boat where, like, the hair was in her face and she couldn't find her words and whatever. Take that Britt Baker, put her side by side with the Britt Baker that we have now, who's obnoxious as hell, but also killing herself in matches with Thunder Rosa.
Right.
I'm kind of bummed Thunder Rosa doesn't have something to do on this card, if I'm completely honest. Like, if they wanted to do some, like, weird stipulation match, like, have Thunder Rosa versus Abaddon or something like that.
Well, I know she is still working with NWA right now, too.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yeah.
Is she? Who is she signed with?
I think she has an open contract right now with NWA and AEW.
Okay.
Just to let you know, Spaz, the next NWA like major show is going to be June 6th,
Okay.
and the current champion Nick Aldis will be facing Trevor Murdoch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna tell me they were bringing in like somebody huge. Nick Aldis is defending against John Cena. Trevor Murdoch. I'm sorry, that makes me sound like an asshole.
The
but
dude's still working. The dude's still working.
Oh, I'm happy for anybody to have a job.
And
my boy Drake Wirtz got let go from NXT.
The last big show was March 21st. Nick Aldis versus Aaron Stevens, aka what the fuck was his name in WWE?
Damien Sandow.
Damien Sandow.
Wasn't he like Aaron Rex in NXT?
Yes,
or in Impact?
TNA. Yeah.
Because everything with X's in it just sounds better.
I guess so.
If I could spell Spaz with an X, I would. But, then Michael Sidgwick would get offended. Moving on. It's funny because we've seen the Britt Baker win coming for so long now, and all the character development she's done, while Hikaru Shida has just had sort of like this quietly great like title reign. Like it doesn't feel like it's one of the matches I'm more excited about on the show, but it doesn't feel like there's much to say about it. Other than maybe Hikaru Shida kicks the shit out of Rebel at some point.
Right.
I mean, the next immediate question is, because all they've really done, again, not trying to take the piss, but like all they've really done is like Hikaru Shida's the champion and she's really good, and here's her challenger this month. Like, who does Britt Baker immediately face?
I think she runs the gambit of different people, or she becomes the heel champion who weasels her way out of defending.
Right, no, like she's going to run the gambit of whoever, but like who do you think is the first person that is okay, we've got a pay-per-view coming up, here's a legitimate person that we think might actually win, or might have an extended long story, not just, hey, this is who we threw on with Britt this week to have a match.
Nyla.
Okay.
Nyla would be the next choice of who's gonna get a shot, really.
Long as her and Vicky don't come out in matching bikinis.
Actually, let's look. I'm gonna check the rankings. AEW Women's rankings.
You know what we mentioned her earlier. Britt Baker versus Tay Conte would be fucking phenomenal.
100%.
Like she's your next big babyface in the division. Like, am I off the mark with that?
No, you're not.
Like, Hikaru Shida's great. I also, much like a lot of the people in WWE that have sort of just like held things up while COVID's been going on, right? Hikaru Shida's basically held up that division as champion, like, for the majority of COVID. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're not.
I wouldn't hold it against her at all if she drops the title this weekend and like just fucks off for a while, and like, you know, recharge the batteries or whatever you want to say, take some time and recoup and, as I say, recharge and do all those kind of things. Like I said for the longest time, Asuka should, but like she dropped the title to Rhea at Mania and she's just still there. I'm like, you can take a break. Like, there's a handful, like, on both shows, on both, like,
right.
AEW, it's a little bit more of a mixed bag and sort of everybody sort of goes in and out. WWE, like, everybody's been there, but there's a few key people that kept the boat floating, that when things are more open and more normal, like, they deserve to take, like, 6 months off.
Right, exactly.
Like, I'm talking about, like, your Drew McIntyres, your Baileys, your Asukas. Somebody's going to say Sasha Banks, and I'm going to tell them to fuck off. But Hikaru Shida is definitely in that category. If she drops it and like, I don't know, like if
she needs a nice little break.
Needs a nice little break. I'm sure she'd like to go home. If that's even possible, like when it's possible.
Right before the pandemic started, she had officially 100% moved here to the United States. So that's why we haven't not seen Cheetah.
Well, no, like not home as far as like her home, but I'm sure she has like family, friends, you know, the gambit. Like going home doesn't necessarily mean going home to your house. Like going home is going home. It's hugging hugging your mom and dad and stuff. Like like I'm sure. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of people that she hasn't seen in a long time.
So current rankings for AEW, Britt being the number 1 contender. Number 3 in line is Thunder Rosa. And then Tay Conti, then Nyla, then Red Velvet.
See, and I don't know. I don't want to say too much bad shit about Nyla Rose, but I don't care. I would love to see her pick up the championship. As I say, if Hikaru Shida goes and buggers off for a while, that's totally cool. Have her run back the match with Thunder Rosa, but like with an opposite mentality of like, oh yeah, you love all this violence, don't you? Why don't you come and fight me in a real match with real wrestling rules and all that sort of thing? Give her a win over Thunder Rosa as like a proving point type thing, and then have sort of a longer, drawn out, pure babyface, pure heel run with Tay Conti, because I think Tay Conti deserves it.
Yeah.
Maybe not the next pay-per-view, like have her try and fail, and then have her fight back again, and then the following pay-per-view make it a real pick'em of like, is she gonna do it this time?
Right.
Because when they played her up and when she got the shot at Hikaru Shida on Dynamite, that was the making.
Honestly, the crowd was behind Tay for that match.
Of course they were. And I mean, it happened to be around the anniversary of when she got let go from WWE, so she did play that up a lot on social, and good for her. Like, you know what? Whatever I may or may not say about it, you've got that emotional card to play it. Right. You know, put a little bit of real into it, which is what AEW does quite a bit, and play that card. I'm not going to hold that against her in the slightest. But that was the making of a real cool, feel-good moment if they had decided to go that way. So have her, like, that would have been a respect, like, passing of the torch type thing. Now, to snatch it away from a proper heel who sort of maybe runs you through the ringer and takes you to a match where you don't quite win because you weren't mean enough and you didn't have a killer instinct enough, whatever, come back pissed off a second time and get the belt off Baker maybe towards the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a decent little story that writes itself, man. Like, to have her go in once and fail, which would basically mean she would have to go back down the rankings and crawl back up again. She gets to have a whole great series of matches with a bunch of people, and then get back to Baker again, like, you know, cliche, but like take it to the top of the mountain again, type thing.
Right.
I think I just wrote AEW's women's division for the next 6 months. You're welcome. Hire me.
Sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Anybody not... Like, I'm saying this to the comment section because I know you and I already agreed. Does anybody think that Britt Baker's not winning this?
I doubt it.
The only thing that I could see is that, like, Rebel has, like, her breakout moment and is, like, tired of Britt Baker's shit and, like, turns face. And that's something that wrestling does. Like, you get the browbeaten, like, sidekick character that finally stands up for themselves. Like the Alex Riley with the Miz. You know, Mizdow and Sandow and all those types of things. Miz sets up those stories really well, doesn't he? As much as that story does work, I don't want it right now.
Mm-hmm.
We can have that later on. We can have that. Maybe she hands Tay Conti her championship in 9 months at the end of the year. But as much as that is a cool thing, and I do want that for Reba or Rebel, whatever. Eventually, this is not the weekend to do it.
No.
Anyways, so Britt Baker's going to be the champion. She's going to be...
It's going to be Britt Baker, baby.
Oh, fuck you. Beat me to it. Britt No. Anyways, fuck it. I'm tired. I get away with that one.
No. Which are we going to go championship, or are we going to go the only cinematic match for this show?
See, here's the thing. Here's what I want to ask you. What do you think the main event's going to be?
Probably Stadium Stampede.
There we go. Because here's the thing. And this is going to, again, I want people to understand out there that this is not a backhanded compliment. This is a proper, like, me just looking at what I see. Omega versus Pac has already been done. Omega versus Orange Cassidy is a match that we could see at some point, but they would have to do a couple more things with Orange before I really bought into it. The fact that they didn't even pick one, they muddied the waters, they made it a triple threat match. This is a match that you put together when the World Championship match is not your main event. This is the kind of match that we always talk about, again, Royal Rumble. You can kind of put whoever in the title match because nobody cares, because they're there for the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
I do kind of think that there's a little bit of that here with Stadium Stampede, which we're going to talk about in a second. Pac is awesome. People that have been listening to my show recently, you know I've started doing the NXT Rewind series, looking back at all the old takeovers. And in Arrival and Takeover, you had Adrian Neville as your NXT champion, the big, ugly, square NXT championship. So to see the transition from that to the King of the Cruiserweights on the main roster to Pac in AEW, because I hadn't seen Pac before he was in WWE, it's night and day. Like, if you told me that these two guys were two different guys, I'd believe you.
Yeah.
Like, he could kick your ass, but also he can still pull out, like, the Red Arrow and shit like that. And Orange Cassidy is such a wild card, pun intended, character who might do the piss everybody off and just, like, schleff through the match and have the no energy kicks or whatever, or could show us the other Orange Cassidy that can, like, keep on pace with Pac and Omega. But like you said, with the tag title match, we're going to have, like, the Super Elite out there, and it's going to be, like, 7-on-2, and they're going to get destroyed, and Omega's going to, like, walk out of there all obnoxiously with his, like, 35 belts. I don't know, like...
Kenny retains it.
Obviously. What do you think of the belt collector thing?
I like it. I like smug Kenny. I hate Don Callis, though.
Yeah, Don Callis is annoying, and, like, not in the way that they think they're getting away with him being annoying.
Yes.
Like, the 69 Me Don thing was funny, I'll give you that. They had to do something to get over, having sparklers instead of a death match.
So, I can say this here, because, we're probably about, a solid hour and a half, almost 2 hours into this. So I have a friend who's going to the show, and he's already said, I really want to make this sign, but it's about 100% chance that this sign will be taken away. He's like, I really want to make a sign with the Young Bucks and Kenny, like, in a bed, and Don Callis at the foot of the bed in a chair watching, and have underneath the signs say the Young Cucks.
Your friend is brilliant. I really hope he gets his sign on camera at least once.
The worst part is he got amazing tickets because they're going to be sitting directly in front of the ring, camera side, everything, or hard cam. Whenever they pan the camera around, they're directly like in the front.
Okay, wait, hold on. You're talking about all the Super Elite being in bed together, and now you're talking about the hard camera. What kind of thing are you trying to set up here, Guapo?
Yeah.
No, I don't mind Kenny because he's being obnoxious guy with lots of achievements, whatever. I get what the multiple belt thing is supposed to do, right? But if you are anybody in those other companies, how are you not pissed? Like, how are you not pissed? Like, not at Kenny, but like at the people running your respective company. It's like, okay, so the title is supposed to represent who you want to represent your company, who you want to be the face of your company.
Yes.
And right now, let's say Scott D'Amore. Scott D'Amore, you've decided that the face of our company is somebody who doesn't work for this company.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to bring in like this super outside type thought, but like the other half of it is too, because he's got what? He's got the Impact title, he's got the AEW title, he's got the AAA title,
the AAA
Mega title or whatever.
Yeah, Mega title.
The Omega title.
Something like that.
Because what it does as well is, as soon as he loses one of those belts, the other two belts look bad, because how good can these belts be? A loser is carrying them.
Yeah.
But I will say, he needs to have a match with the real belt collector.
No.
No, he needs to have a match with the real belt collector, Destiny World Champion, and Impact X Division Champion Josh Alexander, because that'd be good. Like, he's spending enough time on Impact. They could do an Omega Alexander match.
Yeah, I'm sure they could.
It would be really good.
What I'm
he needs to cash in Option C. I just thought of that. Anyways,
yeah.
He needs to cash in.
What I'm honestly surprised we have not got yet, or haven't heard yet, which I wouldn't be surprised if we hear something about it Sunday or tomorrow possibly, with the recent vacation of the NWJP
IWGP
Championship. IWGP. Yes, there it is.
Oh my God. Okay.
With the vacation of that title.
Okay. No. Hold on. I do have to say something. People have criticized WWE for a long time, because WWE has some ugly belts.
Yes.
If you are a fan of New Japan right now, you can shut the fuck up.
I can admit I hate the new belt.
They took Cody Rhodes' neck tattoo and made it into a title belt. I'm not wrong.
No, you're not.
You can fuck all the way off. That is a cross between Cody Rhodes' neck tattoo and the Divas Championship.
Oh, I hate the way it looks.
You know I'm not wrong.
The previous design was better.
I think I've seen the previous design.
The previous design's gorgeous.
Previous design was, and I'm speaking very loosely here.
Was the one that Kenny had.
Yeah. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's sort of, and
it's a mix between the big gold belt.
I was gonna say it reminded me of the big gold belt, because obviously my points of reference are what they are.
Yeah.
But why?
I don't know.
Like, I don't even watch New Japan, and I'm not gonna pretend that them making a bad decision affects me in the slightest. But that, it's tiny too.
Well, Japanese wrestlers are smaller.
But like, they took the Cody Rhodes neck tattoo Divas Championship and made it the size of the AEW Women's Championship. None of this is good. I'm sorry, they do still need to fix the Women's Championship, because it still looks like a wristwatch.
I agree.
Anyways, that was a bit of a tangent, but Jesus, oh, you were about to say Kenny's going to go for that too.
I don't see why not at this point.
Because it'll look like a trinket next to the other three.
Pretty much.
Or I should say 4, because technically the Impact title is two belts.
Yeah.
Because they, what's his name, Rich Swann amalgamated the old TNA championship with the current Impact championship.
Yes.
But he does, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. When he's on Dynamite and he comes out with all the belts, he doesn't have the AAA belt with him usually, does he?
Every so often? Not every time.
Because normally he comes out with the 2 Impact titles and the AEW title. So is there a reason for him, like, not including that in what he's done? Because I don't know that there is. I haven't looked, to be perfectly honest with you, but you are the AEW guy. I was wondering if there's any, like, significance to that. Like, is he not supposed to? Is he, like...
I'm not sure exactly. Now, I did see him come out with wearing 2 belts and then Nakazawa holding the other 2.
Okay. All right. I do think, like, Nakazawa... Because what is he, like, they're called... They changed his name because it's not Michael Nakazawa anymore. He's, like, it's, like, MN Nakazawa or something like that. Basically being, like, his like, lackey or whatever. So the idea of he's got so many titles, he's hired somebody else to carry them, that's a cool thing. That's like CM Punk walking out with Paul Heyman carrying the belt behind him like a boxer. Like, that kind of shit is cool, but there's so many things logistically about somebody carrying so many belts from so many companies that I wonder how they work. But, I mean, again, I'm coming from a WWE perspective where nobody wants to work with WWE because they're not the cool kids anymore.
Right.
But yeah, Omega's winning. I'm pretty sure the match will be good. I'm pretty sure, like, with the pattern of a typical triple threat match, you have 2 guys fighting one guy on the outside, and they sort of rotate through. And there's occasionally, like, some 2-on-1 moments. There's occasionally a point where all 3 of them are fighting, but there is a whole lot of 2 of us fighting, 1 person selling in the corner. I do think that they are going to have Omega taken out at some point in the match, and on this sort of semi-main event stage, you're going to let Pac and Orange beat the shit out of each other and sort of show themselves what they can do. And I think that'll be fun. But Omega gets the win. I think, what was it? Somebody said he was going to try, because they're both smaller guys, he's going to do like a double wing angel with like help from the other guys. And I'm like, that's going to be awkward and unnecessary. Somebody suggested that the Joker in the Battle Royal should be Paul White, and then the immediate thing was like, well, you can't get Paul White up for the one-wing angel. I'm like, you can if 5 people help you.
Yes. Also, it won't be Paul White.
Like
Captain Insano.
Oh my lord. No,
He shows no mercy.
It's no BS Paul White.
God.
Because AEW doesn't just survive on WWE shots. Anyways, AEW's taken more shots than a COVID nurse. It's very tired in here. Stadium Stampede 2, Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle.
I don't even know who's going to win it.
Inner Circle gets their win back. I think AEW did this backwards. I think, if anything, they should have done Stadium Stampede on Dynamite and done the Blood and Guts match here. Because you're taking the violence down a notch.
The only thing is, though, because of the setup for the match, and Dali's place cannot hold legitimately. That's why it was a one-match show. Everything was pre-recorded.
Oh, yeah, and they were watching the rest of the show happen on the screens, and everybody got pissed.
Yes, but it was advertised beforehand that it's going to be a one-match show because that structure takes so long to put up. Like, they started putting that structure up like a week beforehand.
No, fair enough. But I'm just, like, as far as, like, you look at escalation, right? Like, if you look at, okay, you get a regular match, and then if there's another match, it might be a 2 out of 3 falls match, and then it might be a cage match, and then you get Hell in the Cell. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think, especially with people already thinking about the old Stadium Stampede and how much it was just really just a bit of ridiculousness, I think everybody they could obviously prove us wrong. Like, I'm really looking at the 10 people involved. I really do have a lot of faith that they will prove us wrong. It feels like you're going from this, like, literal blood feud that happened in a really, really bloody cage where everybody got the shit beat out of them, and bringing it down to a goofy place. Like, as far as escalation goes, I don't buy it, and I think it's up to them to tell me on the night that that's not the case.
Right.
Now, that being said, look at the 10 people involved in the match. The match is going to be, whatever it is, it's going to be ridiculous and great. I'm going to say, though, the exact same standard for WWE that I have for AEW. I don't think on your first show back with a full live crowd, a cinematic match is a great idea.
So
this, I would have said the same thing if they had done a Firefly Funhouse at WrestleMania.
Yes. So the only difference is it's going to be a cinematic match no matter what.
Yeah.
They could finish the match, though, live in front of the crowd.
Oh, I know, for sure. But it's like back in the day when the hardcore title matches for the actual hardcore title, not the 24/7 title, when you used to have things where they would fight for 2 seconds in the ring, and then it would go backstage, and then you've got people that have paid potentially like, thousands of dollars to watch a match take place on the screen.
Right.
Now that they get away with that on two levels. A, because it's somewhere in the middle of the card. It's just something to break up the card. It's just something to be a little bit different, show you a different part of the arena because it's a different kind of match and whatever. And also it's because it's the Hardcore Championship, which wasn't really held in super high regard. It's silly. It is what it is. I think that changes when it's potentially the main event. And it's your first full stadium, or it's your first full arena back, and they're watching part of the main event on a screen.
We're saying this is going to be main event. This could be curtain jerking.
I think it deserves to be the main event because, like I say, like the title match.
Yeah.
And I already explained why. The title match very much feels like a sub-main title match.
Yeah. Yeah.
If the title, and I'm sorry, like this is, I know I said Hikaru Shida and Britt Baker, but the other match, and the Casino Battle Royal and the Stadium Stampede are why I'm watching this show. And that's not to disrespect anybody else on the card. I think I've said that 100 times now. But the signature matches are why you're tuning in. You tune into the Royal Rumble. The rest of the matches can suck. The Rumble is what you're there for, right? Stadium Stampede, along with Casino Battle Royal, are the key points of this show. And if one of those key points is the main event, and the main event is people watching on a screen and getting that, oh my god, I could have watched this at home feeling, I think you run the risk of people saying, like, well, I could have watched this at home, or at least during the main event. And I don't think they're entirely wrong in that. Like, the cinematic matches in WWE, in AEW, even in Impact, to varying degrees of success. Some of them were great, some of them were terrible. There was the dentist chair match, and we fought in the swamp and everything, and it was all wonderful. They were made, or they became a complete genre of wrestling because there was no crowd, because it didn't matter, because everybody was getting the same viewing experience anyway. I really do think if we get into the end of this year, beginning of next year, and the cinematic matches are still a thing, there's gonna be some resentment coming out of that.
I can agree with
and that. And I'm saying that across the board. I'm saying that for any wrestling company. But I think it's a weird, sort of dangerous line. Like, I think the cinematic matches need to go away as okay, we don't need this anymore because, look, the real world is up again and isn't that great. We don't need the Band-Aid because the scar is healed, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know. Maybe they start in the stadium and they immediately run to the ring and they have a full match in the ring. Somebody suggested, like, after this there's going to be a rubber match and it's going to be like a proper Survivor Series elimination type match. I'd be down for that.
100% okay with that.
If it never happened in the ring, it happened in a cage and it happened in a stadium, and then it finally has to come back to a ring. It's a backwards story, but it would almost make sense.
Yes.
Anyways, I think that's the end of the show. Or I think that's the end of our predictions for the show anyway. I think we predicted the hell out of that. We've been talking way too long, as we usually do. See, the thing is, when you and I do a podcast, we go on forever. When I sit down to record with Jake, because Jake does 27 other shows, I have that at the 1 hour mark or so. I get the little text, be like, hey, I got to go do Joe's show and whatever, and we wrap it up. You and I don't have anything that tells us to stop.
Nope. We just keep rambling, and
we
keep going on different tangents.
Yeah, plus we have an excuse, because it's been a while.
Absolutely.
And we do have something else coming up soon that we're not telling anybody what it is yet. So that's fun. Anyways, for all my nitpicking, I'm really excited about this show this weekend.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be good. One or two things might fall down here or there. But yeah, no, overall, it'll be great to see the fans. It'll be great to see the full arena. It'll be interesting to sort of, for me anyways, to sort of balance like what it was like to see them have a full crowd versus what it was like to see WWE have any crowd at all. It sort of lends itself to what I was saying to you before we started recording as well. The rumors about SummerSlam. The pile of rumors about SummerSlam is A, it's happening in Vegas. B, they're putting it in like a 60,000 seater stadium. C, it's happening on a Saturday. D, the two rumored main events are Lashley and Lesnar, and Roman and Cena.
Right.
So let's see if they can have a full stadium, and we can see what company will be the first person to do this, or what company will be the first persons to do this. Or we'll see if Impact can have any crowd, because they still don't have any crowd, and that's sad. And then, let me tell you a joke. It's called NXT UK.
We know that AEW is the first wrestling company to have a full crowd back, so.
Yeah, but it's not a stadium.
Stadium.
If they moved to the other end of the building and they could have Stadium Stampede because the crowd was in the full stadium, I'd tip my hat to them.
Oh, yeah. But
then what you have is an entire stadium full of people that are watching the rest of the pay-per-view on a screen.
Correct.
Anyways, it's getting delirious in here. Guapo, tell them where to find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Guapo_504, or on, if you want to go support me and my other friends in a non-wrestling manner, you can also find us at Champions of the Parish on YouTube. We play Magic the Gathering and Commander and all that fun stuff. Other nerdy stuff, you know. Also, hey, if you feel like it, go support my wife's stuff. BRT Designs on Facebook.
Hey,
buy her shit.
There you go.
I'm sure you see me every so often share her stuff on Facebook.
You know how much I don't pay attention to anything on Facebook? It's literally like, what memes do I find funny / potentially really offensive, and we move on.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so that's a whole bunch of stuff you can check out from Guapo. You guys know where to find me, or you wouldn't be here. I've been Spaz. He's been Guapo. We are, in this case, your AEW reality check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later. But for right now, me and Senor Guapo are tagging out. Bye, guys.
Adios.